What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going on. Today we've got Team Twitter, representing Twitter obviously, against Visita Hari Discord, representing Discord. So let's hop into the draft. Maybe quite a long draft, already a slow process going on here. Oh, dipping into reserve time on the first bans. Usually a sign that you didn't think about the bans before the game. The first bans, if you're prepared, they just like fly by, right? It's not that common that you respond to the enemy bans. They have the first pick as well, so they're the ones in control of the draft. So gonna see Viper and Storm ban. Viper makes a lot of sense as a first ban, but Storm, we rarely ever see him in this first phase just because he has like too many ways to be countered, and then so you gotta pick Storm last when it's a free Storm game, so a bit of a wasted ban coming out of Discord.
Only 10 seconds.
Husker ban, also another hero that we don't see in the first phase too often, just because he does struggle a lot in a lot of matchups. Notably, Ember Spirit does quite well now these days. The Flame Guard magic absorption went up in the early levels compared to what it used to be. It used to be like 50, 200, 350, 500. Now it's like 80, 220, and like 380 or something like that. It's gotten a lot better for the Ember Spirit against the Husker, and Ember is a first phase hero, a hero we see not too uncommonly in the first phase. He does have a lot of counters, but the benefit of picking Ember Spirit early is that he's a flexible pick. He can go in the safe lane or the mid lane, so it does make some sense to pick Ember Spirit early on. But again, not too common to see in the first phase. If we see him in the first phase, it's by the first pick team in the second position, so you can use 2 bans afterwards to protect it, or you see him in that second phase where it's pretty much there's only 1 ban left, right? So a quick Faceless Void and Bounty Hunter's ban. So Bounty Hunter is first phase material, but I don't think Faceless Void is good enough to be first phase material. He is a little bit greedy, needs a lot of farm to get to have a big impact. Sure, the Chronosphere is nice without farm. That's why we used to see offlane Void all the time. But it does feel like sometimes Faceless Void comes out as a last pick where there's a lot on your shoulders to carry the team. So Shadow Shaman gonna come out from Team Twitter early on. Shadow Shaman's a pretty good hero right now. Very we've been seeing the Aether Lens first build, just skip blink completely, go for a quick Aether Lens and shackle people from across the screen. Also, the Serpent Wards are just so ridiculous. It's pretty rare for a support to be able to win the game by themselves, and Shadow Shaman definitely offers that avenue. Slaughter gonna come out from Team Discord. I like Slaughter a lot right now. I feel like Slaughter is a little bit underpicked, but can get pressured out of the lane against very strong laners. Shadow Shaman does okay against Slaughter, has high base damage, and Jakiro as well. I love Jakiro right now. I actually think Jakiro is a little bit underrated. Obviously has a few issues with like, you have to hit all his spells, and then at least like if you miss a critical ice path, it can just feel pretty bad. But also revealing the Shadow Shaman, making it unlikely for there to be a Rubik pick. Shadow Shaman Rubik doesn't inspire me with a lot of confidence as a support duo. So see if they decide to go for Rubik. They're going for Omni Knight Juggernaut instead. Yeah, I mean Juggernaut does pretty well against what they have so far. Actually, I feel like Slaughter is gonna be able to like punch down this Juggernaut though. If Slaughter is able to keep up his stacks and make sure that he always has a bash available, it is gonna be pretty hard for the Shadow Shaman jug lane to get kills on the Slaughter. Hopefully, Discord they pick a support to go with the Slaughter. He's definitely not going to be able to solo this Shadow Shaman Juggernaut, so they're going to need like 1 person to cancel the shackles, and then use Slaughter to bash the jug during the spin, so that he can't chase anymore. So I don't know how I feel about this jug pick against Slaughter. I feel like Jug actually struggles a lot against Slaughter, at least when I've played against Slaughter in the safe lane. I can't leave the Jug by himself, and especially in a one-on-one, like Juggernaut just gets completely owned by the Slaughter. So Monkey King, Razor are gonna come out from Team Twitter. I think this makes a lot of sense. They do pretty well against the Juggernaut as well. Razor not so much, but Monkey King does pretty well. You can always drop that Wukong to man for the bonus 24 armor against the Omni Slash, which will reduce half the damage. Doom gonna come out from Discord. It kind of makes a lot of sense. Doom's a pretty strong hero right now. And yeah, pretty effective against Juggernaut as well. Using, actually no, they banned the Doom. What am I saying? I don't know. You can see a Drow ban as well. I feel like Drow Jug is an okay like core duo, and then you have an offlaner to make a lot of moves, because Drow just needs to get level 6 in that mid lane and then go to the jungle for a few minutes, hit some ancient camps, and then come out of the jungle with like a Hurricane Pike or a Silver Edge and just wreck everyone. Seems like a sensible ban. She's really strong right now. For the side of Discord, we might see another support get picked now. Hopefully one with an instant stun, not Jakira's Ice Path, something to help his team set up for the chain stun. There's a lot of stuns already coming out from the side of Discord. I mean, alternatively, they could put the Jakiro in the off lane and the Jakiro Slaughter lane, but you don't want to pick up Ice Path until level 4 usually on Jakiro. You really want to put those early points in Dual Breath and Liquid Fire to really punish the enemy team, and Clockwork. Okay, so this is going to be this Slaughter Clockwork off lane. A lot of initiation range now, and the Shadow Shaman is going to have a lot of trouble against the Clockwork. I'm pretty sure the Clockwork is going to be the position 4 here, and not the Slaughter, just because the Slaughter benefits from farm a little bit more than the Clockwork does. So this, revealing the safe lane duo early on from Team Twitter, it's going to make it pretty inflexible. Also, Clockwork is a pretty nice counter to Jakiro, because you can't really attack or cast any spells while you're being battery assaulted. But we don't see Clockwork very much anymore. Not really sure what changed about him. There's nothing off the top of my head that was like, oh yeah, Clockwork got nerfed like super hard and then is no longer viable. He just kind of fell out of the meta. In lieu, like I feel like he's never been good enough for position 3, but position 4 Clock we've seen on and off for a few years now. So Lich gonna come out from Team Twitter, and a very fast spend pick. So kind of knowing that they were gonna pick it beforehand, they had its spend queued up already, and a lot of melee heroes coming out from the side of Discord. Hopefully the Clockwork cogs don't mess them up too much from their own team. I feel like Team Twitter is going to be forced into an aggro tri-lane, because the Clockwork can zone out the Shadow Shaman by himself, and then it's just like the Juggernaut against the Slaughter, and Slaughter completely owns the Juggernaut. So you're gonna maybe see a defensive tri-lane coming out of Team Twitter. So Team Twitter is gonna have to try and pick an offlaner who can either lane by themselves. Okay, actually you're gonna see Lifestealer come out. We hardly ever see Juggernaut and Lifestealer in the same draft. They both need Lifestealer needs a lot more farm than the Jug. Jug can go mid if he wants to. He does okay in most mid matchups. He's got the healing ward to sustain himself as well.
10 seconds to pick.
This Lifestealer is presenting me with a few question
5
marks.
seconds remaining.
Not really sure what's going on here. I feel like he also struggles a little bit against Slaughter, right? You can just get bashed during the rage and then just waste it. I'm not too sure. Does okay against the Clockwork and doesn't really care about the Jakiro too much. There's a lot of physical damage coming out from the Sven as well, and the Warcry is going to be super effective here because now there's like this the Omni Slash and the Lifestealer. It's going to be mostly blocked by the Warcry. Zeus going to come at it from Team Twitter, so I feel like Zeus is going to be in a lot of trouble from this Clockwork. Clockwork can just hook in, and if he gets a Blade Mail as well, there's nothing that the Zeus can do. He doesn't want to hurt himself. I'm not convinced by Team Twitter's draft at all. They don't have a playmaker, not much AoE either.
Only 10 seconds.
The gameplay just seems so simple from Discord.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
They just need to pick a hero that does well against Zeus in lane, so they banned the Sniper from Team Twitter, which makes a lot of sense. Can wreck the Zeus pretty hard in lane. I almost want to see TA at this point from Discord. There's not much that they can do against her. Yeah, there's a... I think there's a lot of heroes in the pool that do well against against Zeus in the mid lane. Going deep into reserve time. We're gonna see Broodmother. Oh, we haven't seen this hero in a long time, not since TI. So gonna be the mid Broodmother. Zeus does not do well against Broodmother at all. He's just gonna get completely run over. So Broodmother, we don't see that much anymore because they got rid of the. They got rid of one of the ancient camps, and they also moved the ancient camp. But when we did used to see Broodmother, it was on Radiant all the time. Then yeah, I always say like this is definitely like a 70-30 draft for Discord. It should be a pretty easy game plan as long as they don't like feed too much in the lane. But I feel like there's not much that Team Twitter are going to be able to do to contest this Broodmother. Even the Slaughter and the Sven. This is going to be a complete disaster, I think, for Team Twitter. But I would like to be proven wrong, so hopefully Team Twitter brings the thunder, quite literally. And there's no splash damage or like D-push on the side of Team Twitter either. The spiders are just gonna run them over. Oh, yikes. So let's hop into the game. There's no hero spammers. Actually, Zeus is kind of a hero spammer. Lutz is kind of a hero spammer on Zeus. But so let's get into the game. Get rid of this thing. So on the side of what's happening here? There you go. Oh, I'm stuck. Wait. Oh, I'm still on directed camera. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So on the side of Team Twitter, we've got Lutz on the Zeus, Ghostem on the Shadow Shaman, Nani on the Lifestealer, Q820 on the Juggernaut, and Vlad on the Lich. On the side of Discord, we've got Dugo on the Slaughter, not self-derogatory name on the Sven, I Am Baby on the Clockwork, Emmy Dies Alone on the Broodmother, and DZ Bug on the Jakiro. So we're going to see this Sven Jakiro in the off lane actually. And Lifestealer also go in the off lane. Getting the Clockwork up against the Shadow Shaman is probably the play here, because now he can't shackle you, you just get battery assaulted. And then the shackle is pretty much worthless if you can get in range. So I like this a lot, just putting this dual stun lane against the Shadow Shaman makes it really hard to get any shackles off. In the bot lane, we've got Sven and Jakiro up against Lich and Jug. So I feel like Jakiro, the reason why I've been playing Jakiro so much is he has 760 HP against these like measly 600 HP heroes. Dual Breath does 100 damage at level 1, and if you clip both of them, that's pretty big as well. So it's going to be 2 for 2 bounty runes, nothing too crazy going on here. And I feel like Lich can definitely 1v1 the... Oh no, Jakiro can 1v1 the Lich pretty convincingly. Let's see that early point of Frost Shield as well. That makes a lot of sense with the Blade Fury, trying to get aggressive with it. I do kind of wish that the Slaughter was up against the Jug instead, because then you can just bash him during the spin and he can't chase you. But this is okay as well, making sure... This Lifestealer is going to have a really hard time against this Slaughter. Every 4th hit, he can just go and bash the Lifestealer for up to 225 extra damage, 75 bonus damage at level 1. Absolutely absurd. In the mid lane, the Broodmother is gonna be able to run this Zeus over. Zeus will be okay until Broodmother hits maybe level 3 or level 4. And then the Zeus just is gonna have to leave. Already, Lifestealer zoned out from the wave, isn't able to contest here. No points from Clockwork at all. Last hit to deny. Zeus is actually doing pretty well. 68 base damage against the 49 of Broodmother. So Broodmother didn't go for any stats item early on, which is where most of this base damage difference comes from. Actually, the Broodmother is really far behind on CS right now. But this will change once Broodmother gets level 3. The 2 points in the Spiderlings, just being able to overwhelm the Zeus. Clockwork still hasn't skilled anything yet. We normally see Battery Assault at level 1, but it's a toss up between Cogs and Battery Assault, but now he's level 2, he can just skill both of them at the same time. Holding on to the skill point to see which opportunity arises and which one's better. And Broodmother, Zeus is a level ahead. There's a lot of range creeps here, so the Broodmother will eventually get level 3 after these range creeps finally die. Nice early 1 pickup as well. Will help him a lot against the Arc Lightning spam. And now Broodmother's level 3. This Zeus is gonna start feeling some pain. Actually not dropping another web. The web is really important because it gives you regen in the lane. I'm not sure why. Yeah, there you go. Actually, Lifestealer getting a pretty decent amount of CS, surprisingly. But who's gonna make plays on the side of Team Twitter? This Jug can fight early. Once he gets level 6, he's ready to fight. But Omni Slash is a fairly long cooldown. And then they don't have anyone to start the fight either. Their only initiation is like Shadow Shaman walking up and hexing, shackling someone, which is not the best initiation. Whereas you've got this Clockwork hook that can hit you from really far away. Zeus is doing a lot better against Broodmother than I would expect. Gonna ferry out a Soul Ring when he can. Get that infinite mana sustain. Can be pretty passive here. Not much action happening. Zeus is gonna bottle off the DD rune, so that's pretty nice for him. Broodmother might look to pressure this Zeus a little bit. While he's over there.
First blood.
Oh, and first blood goes bot. I completely missed it. The Jakiro goes down to the Frost Shield Blade Fury combo. It's a pretty strong combo. The Frost Shield slows you down so you can get sticks to them with the Blade Fury and get more hits. But Lich is going to go down in return. A solo kill for the Sven, so a lot of experience for him. Top lane, the Slaughter goes down to the So the Shadow Shaman, actually, of all people, so was able to get a long duration shackle off, I would assume. That's pretty crazy. I don't really know how that happened. The Clockwork and the Slider both weren't able to get in range to stop this Rasta from getting the shackles off. I feel like that kill shouldn't have happened. 5-minute bounty runes. It's going to be all 4 going the way of Team Twitter. So nice, nice heads up from the side of Team Twitter to grab all of them. Oh, this Broodmother is actually struggling quite a bit. I can't exactly remember what got nerfed at Broodmother after TI. She was pretty notorious at TI. There's a Thunder God's Wrath, and Broodmother's gonna go down to the Zeus, but now he's in a lot of trouble from these spiders. Broodmother will get her revenge. This is more of what I expected. Just spam get those spiders to run at the Zeus, and Zeus won't be able to do anything. Actually, a pretty nice gold exchange for the Broodmother though. 508 gold compared to the 305. And Broodmother is also only level 5, so she'll respawn a lot faster, be able to build up that spider army. Stormbolt, Dual Breath onto the Lich. Lich will go down. The spin doesn't really do that much damage to the Sven. He has a lot of HP. Another Stormbolt is ready in 5 seconds, but not going to go for it. Juggernaut going to get pressured out a little bit. Top lane, the Cogs will block out the Lifestealer from being able to chase the Slaughter. Slider with 2 points in the Bash of the Deep. Once he gets the 3rd point, it's gonna hurt a lot more. An extra 50 damage per level.
My brood triples.
And so Broodmother, oh, actually the illusions don't have the passive, which is kind of odd. I feel like Broodmother needs to put webs down under the tower. Like there needs to be more webs and just run the spiders at Zeus. There's nothing that the Zeus can do. She's just letting the Zeus arc lightning the spiders, which I don't agree with at all. You're just gonna send the spiders at the Zeus. Now she's got a full army and should be able to pressure the Zeus out with it. But instead, taking a lot of hurt. Thunder God's Wrath is up soon. No Mango, so won't be able to get that burst mana regen. The Lifestealer having a pretty free lane. Phase Boots on the way. So this is the main reason why Broodmother got nerfed. So there used to be an ancient camp. There used to be an ancient camp here, and there used to be an ancient camp. Oh, it hasn't moved too much. So the main thing is like one of the ancient camps is gone now, which is kind of annoying for the Broodmother. So 1k ahead for Team Twitter early on, not actually a little bit unexpected, I would say. And this Zeus is having a much better lane than he should. This Broodmother is not being that effective at pushing him out of the lane. Now it's the 1-on-1 between the Lifestealer and the Slaughter, and I feel like Slaughter should do okay here. He's got the 3 points in the Bash now. Not sure what this pull is going to do from the Clockwork. Spin from the Jug. Not going to achieve very much. Now this Jug could be in a bit of trouble. Doesn't have spin again for 18 seconds. So can definitely feel some hurt. The Frost Shield will protect him from some physical damage. No points in the Sinister Gaze. Zeus is down here now, so this is getting pretty scary from the side of Discord. And the Sven, he's in a lot of trouble. He's gonna TP out and get taken out before he's able to go. The Shadow Shaman getting run down by the Clockwork. So the Shadow Shaman in a lot of trouble. Rage comes out from the Rocket Flare, or will manage to get the kill. But the Lich goes down, but the Shakira goes down with him. And now in mid, Broodmother can just take this tower. And this is the one problem with Zeus in mid, is it's really hard to take this tower. So what is Broodmother gonna go for? She's gonna go for a pipe first. I guess it's okay. It's pretty nice to have against the Zeus. No one else on his team is probably gonna look to build a pipe anytime soon. Sven is the carry, and Slaughter is not a pipe carrier. Slaughter wants to get that fast blink and maybe some attack speed. So it kind of makes sense that Broodmother is the one who's gonna go for it. But the problem with this is Broodmother. She's not using her medallion to farm creeps. Problem is Broodmother is gonna fall off a lot faster than she normally would because she's not going for any damage items. Not gonna see that Diffusal Blade or Orchid. Top lane. The 10-minute bounty runes are coming up, but not going to be able to stop them. Actually, Lifestealer ends up inside the cogs, and the Clockwork, he's not in that much trouble. It's got a battery assault now. Gonna turn this one around. Slider's here now. The Shackles comes out onto the Slider, but the Thunder God's Wrath will come out. The Clockwork getting pretty low. There's no Shrine for a little bit. Zeus manages to kill the Sven. Zeus is here now, and the Slider's dead. Nice long-range Thunderbolt from the low ground. Doesn't even have an Aether Lens yet. Juggernaut on his way to a Battle Fury. He needs to be able to keep up with the Sven's farm, so it makes a lot of sense. Actually, no points in Greater Cleave yet for the Sven. As the position 1, you really want to max out that cleave first so you can farm the camps faster. So a little bit odd that we don't see any points in cleave at all. Also would have helped put on a lot of pressure on this Juggernaut.
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
And now Starter is getting pushed out by the Zeus. The Zeus is having a pretty free game. Broodmother gonna take the T2 at mid as a trade.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Needs to drop webs more aggressively. It just seems like this Broodmother is very conservative on the web usage. You get 8. It's a lot. Alright, bot lane. Another Liquid Fire onto the tower. No points in Ice Path actually, so when they get the setup, the Slider will go down to the 3 heroes at top. It's a pretty easy kill with all 3 of them. Shadow Shaman's coming bot now, but oh no, that's Shadow Shaman. Not sure what he's going to be able to do here. The God Strength comes out, but not going to be able to find the Shadow Shaman. The Dual Breath completely misses. And they're not going to look in the trees for some reason. A little bit of a questionable God Strength coming out from the Sven. And it doesn't have any cleave yet either. The Radiant Courier goes down thanks to the Broodmother as well. Oh, Stormbolt onto the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman's gonna go down to the Macrophire. Gets last hit by the Sven. Blade Fury to let the Jug get away and take this tower and bot as well. I just feel like this Broodmother is not being aggressive enough, right? This Lich showed himself. She should just run the spiders at him. There's not much that Lich can do to defend himself. But just not being that aggressive. Alright, bot lane. The Jakiro gonna go down to the Blade Fury. Thunder God's Wrath came out. And now the Lich is in trouble. This should have happened a long time ago. Hook shot forward onto the Broodmother, so not that effective. There's no webs for...
Dire's middle tower taking damage.
This web management is not great either. This web is a bit of a question mark. And now there's no web connecting here, so he's got to walk around the long way. It's very important that you have the web highway set up. You can actually get rid of webs now. That was like a huge buff to Broodmother. You can manually decide which webs you want to get rid of. So the Shadow Shaman's here now as well. They can take out the Shadow Shaman. There's not much lockdown otherwise. Just run the spiders at him, dude. There you go. No, spiders not running at the supports. Dugo, about halfway to his Blink Dagger. It seems like they're gonna wait for this because the Clockwork just completely whiffed his hook earlier. They can't hook the Jug or the Lifestealer though, because they can just turn that around. So the only hook targets are the supports or the Zeus, and a hook on the Zeus would be pretty sweet right now. He's gonna go for it. He does have it. But he completely whiffs. Who is he going for? He shot halfway between all of them. He should have just gone for the Zeus, honestly. And Broodmother can just use the webs to get over the cogs to help out the Clockwork as well. So already 2 failed hooks coming out from the Clockwork. Sven, still no points in the Greater Cleave. I understand that like you want points in the Warcry, but you only need 1 point in the stun. The duration doesn't go up by that much to make it worth it.
Middle tower taking damage.
And now he's going to farm a lot slower than his Juggernaut is, right? His already 700 gold ahead. Almost has his Battle Fury. Just a few hundred gold away now. Thunder God's Wrath will take out the Slaughter. And 15-minute battle runes are coming up, so gonna be 3 going the way of Discord. Bot lane, in the bot jungle. The Lich will just go down, feed his life away to the Broodmother. And the Broodmother still hasn't taken the tier 2 tower. It's gonna be pretty slow on pushing this. But the catapult is here now, so this seems like the time to go for Broodmother. This is coming back down. Has a Yules. Gonna go for a 4-staff next. I would have liked to see the 4-staff first, but he hasn't been getting hooked, so I guess it's fine. It's not a... Clockwork hasn't been able to hit any hooks yet. He's got it up again, but it's gonna be hard. He has to go for the Zeus or the supports. There's not much options. Puts an aggressive Observer Ward down. Hook onto the Lich, but the Lich was dead anyway, so not the most effective hook. Probably could have saved it for a better occasion, like on the Zeus for instance. And now Zeus in a bit of trouble. Oh, his Broodmother's coming in now. There's no point in Ice Path. The Macropire goes down. The Zeus is going to go down to the Broodmother spiders. And this is what I expected like 10 minutes ago. This level of domination from the Broodmother. It just took a while for her to ramp up. But Emmy dies alone, finally getting into it. Going to go for an Awkward. Already has it done. This will be pretty nice against the Lifesteal and the Jug, making sure they can't Blade Fury or Rage out. Also, the Zeus won't be able to defend himself, but he can just use himself if he gets Awkwarded. The main thing is to stop the Blade Fury and the Rage. It doesn't seem like Juggernaut has Manta Style on the horizon. Neither does Lifestealer. Lifestealer's actually doing really well. I feel like he should have gotten pressured a lot harder by this clock lane. Lich, Broodmother gonna take out the... actually, the Omni Slash with the Battle Fury did a lot of work there. Taking out all the spider army pretty quickly. The Broodmother will go for the Lich. Lich will eventually go down. Doesn't spawn any spiders though, so a bit unfortunate there. Macropire comes out. The Dual Breath does hit the Jug. The Jug getting pretty low, but Slaughter will just end up going down. Zeus came in and Thunderbolted the Slaughter to death. Getting the 2 supports for a core is pretty worth it, I would say, for the side of Team Twitter. Especially the hook shot finally comes in onto the Zeus now. Is he going to drop the cogs? He doesn't even need it. The Jug, he's in a lot of trouble now. Gets Ice Path, and he's going to get taken out if they can catch up to him. No Stormbolt, but he's finally going to go down. They can finally get this tower in mid and get the tower at bot if they want as well. The Radiant's still a little bit off for the Lifesteal, like another 1.4k gold. And now the Rasta's in a lot of trouble. Finally this redundant web goes down. But actually the Lifestealer not going to go down. They took out all the spiders somehow. She does really need that spider army to be effective. And that burst damage comes from the spider army. Finally, a point into Ice Path. This is a build I don't see too often on the hero. Because Ice Path, honestly, I think Ice Path is like the best part of the hero right now. But all his spells are good. Stomp on the Juggernaut. So alright, so Jug's gonna go back for the Manta Style now, understanding that the Orchid is pretty scary from the Broodmother.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
Sven gonna take out this bot T2 tower by himself. They can't defend both towers at the same time, so Sven just gonna take this one for pretty much free. Actually backs out. He doesn't have any creeps anymore. Lifestealer's cutting the creep wave, so there's backdoor protection. Nice place from the Lifestealer to stop this from happening. Unfortunately, there's no webs in this area, so Broodmother won't be able to connect. Broodmother getting pretty low, but won't be able to get taken out. Is one lightning bolt away from getting taken out, so it needs to be a bit careful here. Regen up a bit before heading back into the fight. Actually salves up. He has salves for some reason still. It's a little bit odd. The Omni Slash is back up for the Juggernaut, so There's also a double damage rune at top. The Dire Courier goes down. That's Sven's? No, that's Slaughter's blink. Oh no, that's really bad for the Slaughter. Hex onto the Broodmother. Gets shackled as well. The Broodmother's gonna go down here. There's not much to save her. Gonna be able to run out just barely. Gets used up, but gonna go down afterwards. So staying a little bit too long. They have pretty good vision. They should have been able to spot them out. Like this ward, I guess like they came in. Wait, they should have seen this them come in. Not sure why the Broodmother stayed for so long. 20-minute bounty runes are now up. No one's going for them, but it's fine. The Jakira is going to go down as well. Got strength on the Sven. Blink in, gets a 2-man stun onto the Zeus. The Crush completely whiffs though. The Zeus getting pretty low. Gets force stuffed onto the high ground, but gets taken out by the Rocket Flare afterwards. The Chain Frost is coming out now. There's not many things for it to bounce to. The Sven still on a bit of a rampage, but the Chain Frost bouncing onto the Sven multiple times. The Sven will eventually go down. The lack of Blink Dagger, the Courier getting taken out for the Slaughter has been huge. And so the 20-minute bounty runes finally will get taken. Clockwork should drop a cog, so make sure the Lifestealer can't follow. Nice. And it's going to be all 4 going the way of Team Discord. So a bit of a sloppy set of events. But ends up working out for Discord. I feel like they were behind in gold, but they equalized it. The Broodmother and the Sven did end up going down. They're both going for BKB now, which I like a lot. And the Blink Dagger for the Slaughter is going to be back up soon. Finally, it's you never want to see this. Spending all your time farming a Blink Dagger only to get the Courier sniped down. Absolutely devastating. So Broodmother doesn't. Actually, the vision from the side of Team Discord is being pretty limited here. There's a lot of vision here. 3 observer wards on the side of Team Twitter. It's kind of hard to ward against this Zeus because you got the lightning bolt spam. So fair enough that they're not able to get good vision down. This ward has still not been dewarded yet. So good stuff. Good ward placement. Been uncommon. Now the Broodmother gonna get caught out again, but is able to run away in time. Oh no, the hook shot onto the Sven, but there's still no blink on the Slaughter. The Lich will go down. No, he doesn't go down yet. Omni Slash onto the side of Discord, but the Jug, he's in a lot of trouble now. He uses his spin now, but the Sven is really low. The Clockwork gets cogged up. Jug in a lot of trouble. The Jug will go down, but the Sven is going to go down to another lightning bolt, and it's just the Broodmother by himself. The Clockwork completely whiffed the hook, and they're going to be able, I feel like they're not going to be able to catch up to this Broodmother. She's way too fast. Has a few more webs to get out as well. As long as the Rasta doesn't catch him, should be okay. But the TP in from the Lich as well gets if he can get a Sinister Gaze off, gets hexed up, but walks over the cliff in time. The Lightning Bolt comes out, and the Arc Lightning will finish off the Broodmother. So the chase is successful on the side of Team Twitter. Yeah, this Clockwork just missing another hook. He hooked the Sven who walked in front of him, and Slaughter didn't have his blink now. He has it now, but the Courier wasn't up yet. A lot of drawings on the side of Discord. Some rage coming out of the Broodmother.
Dire's middle tower taking damage. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So Radiant's now done on the Lifestealer. He's halfway to his Manta style already, so this Orchid no longer going to be a huge threat for him. The Juggernaut also about 3/4 of the way to his Manta style. And they're going to go for this tier 1 tower. Hopefully don't drop wards for it. It's not really worth it. Also, you're so close to level 2 wards, you might as well wait at this point. But we'll see if Team Discord want to fight here. The Broodmother should just be split pushing. She can't fight here because she doesn't have any reps. So this is not a great place for them to fight. Blink forward onto the Lifestealer, but misses the follow-up Ice Path. Oh yikes, this is insane. The Serpent Wards go down onto the tower. The Shadow Shaman will eventually go down to the Broodmother. Nice bounces onto the Broodmother. The Clockwork in a lot of trouble, gets run down by the side of Team Twitter. Blink forward from the Sven, gets here just the Lich with the Stormbolt, but there's no follow-up anymore. Omni Slash comes out from the Sven and onto the Sven, and he dies. Zeus will eventually go down, but now it's a Broodmother and Jakiro against 3 heroes, and the Broodmother just didn't have any webs to get into the fight. Not using her webs aggressively enough, just went up to here and didn't commit all the way in. The Slider blinked in by himself, but there was no follow-up. Sven wasn't there to follow up with another Stormbolt. So the T3 tower gonna get assaulted by the side of Twitter. The blink forward again from the Slider onto the Lich. Lich is probably gonna be in a little bit of trouble. The Jakiro will go down before he's able to TP out. Lich is gonna slowly get away. And now the Lifestealer is in a lot of trouble. He can infest a creep, but doesn't end up going for it. Another hook onto a creep. This Clockwork has missed every single one of his hooks so far this game. He's only gotten one. Oh, okay. He's gotten one good hook onto the Zeus, but that's it. This Clockwork really needs to step up his game. This should be a pretty easy game for him. There's no summons on the side of Team Twitter to block. And the Sven now in a bit of trouble, gets used up, no Warcry, so he's going to go down as well. There's not much that he can do to get out of here. Another Lightning Bolt comes out, will finish him off. So, big mistake from the Sven, getting caught out by himself. Broodmother got a BKB now, but she's been fighting in areas where she doesn't have webs. And now, like, all the webs are defensive, which means that, like, when they go to push, Broodmother's not going to have any webs. The recharge time is really long. Only one web left. This is not looking good for Discord. Blade Mail now done on the Clockwork, so if only he could hit the hooks, he could actually get in onto the Zeus and take him out. Twitter will go for the Roche now. Doesn't seem like Team Discord know about it. Lifestealer, he manages to rage off in time. There's no bash gonna come out from the Slider though. And now the Lifestealer in a bit of trouble, gets cogged up. Isn't gonna go out. He does go down eventually. A Macropia as well takes out the Shadow Shaman. Chain Frost bounces pretty well between them, but this Broodmother is on a rampage but doesn't have any more webs. So isn't able to chase uphill. They're going to go for the Roche now. Lifesteal and Shadow Shaman are down, so this is a great opportunity. Going to try and force them to buy back if possible. This Broodmother's going to be not that useful for a while now, because all her webs are defensive over here. So probably doesn't seem like Broodmother's that familiar with playing the hero. Juggernaut spinning in, gonna take out the Sven. There's no buyback. Omni Slash primarily hits the Roche, but the Roche is going to go down to the Omni Slash. Jug gets the Aegis. The Broodmother goes down to the Zeus, and a complete disaster for the side of Team Discord. Yule's going to come out onto the Jakiro. Jakiro uses the Juggernaut, but spin forward, and Jakiro going to go down as well to the Frost Blast.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
And 6k gold advantage now for Team Twitter. They're gonna look to take this this tower. The Broodmother has buyback as well. Jakiro forced to buy back, but if the Broodmother buys back, she only has 2 webs, so it's going to be really hard to take this fight. They can't take it over a long distance. Clockwork just walks in because he knows he can't hit the cogs anymore. The Blink Crush forward. Broodmother buys back, but she doesn't have any webs, so how is she going to fight here? Long TP in as well, drops 1 web. The Stormbolt comes out onto the Shadow Shaman, so they get the 2 supports on the side of Team Twitter. They get the Healing Ward as well. Jug uses his spin, but is gonna end up going down to the Blink Stormbolt. The Zeus is in the backline. Actually, Jug has a blink. The Stormbolt doesn't quite come out. Jug is a really fast hero, and it's gonna be able to disengage. So forcing the Broodmother and Jakiro to buy back is a pretty good situation for the side of Team Twitter. I'm sure they're quite happy with that. Thunder God's Wrath comes out just to scout. Gotta take this tower now. but I don't think they can go for more. Jug still has the Aegis, so it's going to be pretty hard to take him out twice. Boots of Travel now on the Zeus, so he can show up to any fight with full mana now. Just use that TP scroll to go home, and then TP into the fight with Boots of Travel. Manta Style almost done on the Lifestealer as well. And BKB almost done on the Slaughter. Makes a lot of sense. So this is kind of the part of the game where Broodmother starts to fall off a bit. The majority of her strength comes from like the Spiderlings, but they're kind of falling off now. We saw earlier there was that Omni Slash with the Battle Fury, just took out all the spiders pretty quickly. So nice itemization from the Juggernaut.
Go for my master.
Bounty runes. Looks like it's gonna be all 4 bounty runes. No, just 3 bounty runes going the way of Team Twitter. And Discord, they're in hot water. I think it's this Broodmother pick just not working out. So slow without off the webs. Broodmother is one of those heroes who just like she sits mid and she just is annoying. It doesn't matter what's happening in the rest of the map, just sit in mid and take the towers. God Strength popped again by the Sven, but wasn't able to get anything out of it. Another wasted God Strength. This isn't the first time we've seen this. Jug, going forward, there's a Sentry here, and there's also the Zeus Lightning Bolt to stop this from happening. And the Broodmother gonna go down. A little bit of an unnecessary Omni Slash, but feels good anyway to go for it. Also gets shackled without BKB. Probably didn't see the Shadow Shaman there, so didn't want to use his BKB anyway. And that's a dieback on the Broodmother. She's down for 92 seconds. It's time for Team Twitter to go. They're gonna go take the top T2 tower with the Jug, which makes a lot of sense. That way they open up 2 lanes of racks. And 70 seconds is a long time. They push pretty fast with the Jug and the Lifestealer. So unfortunately the creep wave is pretty far back. For the side of Team Twitter. Maybe going mid would have been the better choice there. The tower's already on half HP. By the time they get to the tier 3 tower, Broodmother will be back in maybe 40 seconds. Bot lane, Chikiro just split pushing a little bit, trying to force the Zeus to go back. But the Zeus has Boots of Travel, so it's like not a big deal for him to do this. Just gonna spam those Arc Lightnings, grab a little bit more mana and base, and then TP back in. Sinister Gaze onto the Clockwork. The big forward from the Slaughter will only get 1, so the Chain Frost does go out before the Lich goes down. BKB is forced out. The Zeus is TPing in. Zeus is going to get in with no trouble. Blink forward from the Sven onto the Zeus, but the Zeus is pretty tanky still. No, God Strength ran out. God Strength was actually on cooldown. Wasn't able to use it because he wasted it earlier. Sven will eventually go down. The Slaughter goes down as well, and this is some yikes territory for Team Discord. The Serpent Wards go down on the tier 3. Blink forward from the Jug will take out the Shakira eventually. And they're going to get 2 lanes of racks for this. Broodmother is up, but she's by herself. It doesn't have any webs, I believe. It has 4 webs available. This game is looking pretty grim for the side of Discord. 2 buybacks on the Sven and the Clockwork. They're not going to be able to defend this lane of racks against the Serpent Wards. Jakira also died back, so that's a long time where there's no Jakira. 4-star from the Zeus onto the low ground. He's stuck in the trees, but is able to get out. There's no more webs on the side of the Broodmother, so Zeus just going to be able to walk out. Very unexpected. There's no hook shot as usual. And the God Strength was used as well. All they got was the Shadow Shaman out of this God Strength. Oh boy, this is looking pretty rough for Discord. Basher now on the way for Lifestealer. He has the money for it. I think he doesn't quite have buyback and the Basher, but at this point, I feel like Discord are so far ahead. Say between Twitter, they're so far ahead that they don't really need to save buyback. Just focus on killing the enemies a little bit faster. Because like even if they manage to win a team fight by defending. It's going to take a really long time for this Broodmother to get across the map. She's slower than Crystal Maiden outside of webs, and only has going to have 1 web up in 4 seconds, but that's it. All these webs are like pretty useless.
Regeneration.
Sven going for a Daedalus now. It makes sense. They need a bit more damage on their side of the team. Broodmother is just fallen off completely. Slaughter hasn't had the most effective blink crushes, and the Clockwork has only hit one hook that I've seen so far. So, just these initiations not working out for the side of Team Discord. And now there's a bunch of 4-staffs on the supports as well. Rasta almost has his own 4-staff, so there's going to be 3 4-staffs against this Clockwork as well. So Clockwork's efficiency is going to be pretty mediocre now. Clockwork buys the tome. Oh, he just puts it on the ground, but probably give it to the Jakiro. Jakiro went for the XP talent, so going to be nice to pick up that term knowledge for the extra efficiency. But I usually prefer this dual breath talent, because that way you can one-shot the creep waves with one dual breath. But instantly up to level 17 because of that term of knowledge. So that 40 XP gain experience, 40 XP gain talent working out. Butterfly can be completed on the Jug now if he decides to buy it out. He looks like that's the case, and not really feeling the need for buyback. So we'll see if Lifestealer wants to finish up his Abyssal Blade. I think he's still a couple hundred gold away. 850, 1.1, 1.5. Sinister Gaze onto the Slaughter. The Broodmother, she's in deep. Gonna go for the Shadow Shove. The Lich is gonna go down as well. Hook onto the Lich, but it was gonna go down anyway. Blade Mail out on the Clockwork. Gonna deal a lot of damage back to the Zeus. This will go down to the Broodmother. Nice Manta Styles to get out of. Actually, the silence onto the Lifestealer. Lifesteal will go down as well. And actually, this is pretty disastrous for the side of Team Twitter. It looks like they finally managed to get a nice initiation off. Unfortunately, the creep wave is so far behind. They didn't take out the siege creep when they came and pushed mid. So you're gonna have to wait a long time for these creeps to arrive. And they're not even cutting the wave. This is really bad, actually. Now the creeps are going to meet here. They're going to be stuck here for a little bit longer. Not going to be able to force anything on the high ground. And Sven going to be forced to go home and defend. So not going to be able to get anything off that nice team fight. And this is kind of what I was alluding to. They didn't actually need to buy back. They did buy back on the Lifestealer, which... it's probably a little bit unnecessary, but now he can just buy the Abyssal Blade and not feel too pressured to have buyback. This Jug almost has buyback now as well. He was the only one who made it out of that fight. That would have been a disaster if Jug died as well. But yeah, Discord wasn't able to get anything out of that team fight, so really unfortunate. The Roche is back up and they have no idea it's up. Clockwork not firing his rocket flares on cooldown. They have no idea this is happening. So it's going to be a free Roche. This one is with cheese as well. So give the cheese to the Lifestealer or the Jug, and both of them are going to get pretty hard to kill. Looks like they're finally coming in. We've got the Nullifier Orchid build. The Clockwork Rocket Flare finally comes in, but it's too late. The Roche is already down.
To the Swift, the spoils.
The haste onto the Juggernaut. He's going to run forward. The Broodmother's by himself. He doesn't get the Omni Slash off before the Broodmother goes over the cliffs, but that could have been pretty big. The Broodmother's still in a lot of trouble. Gets used up, and he can get Omni Slashed if he wants, but BKB out. Now it's Aegis cheesed on the side of Team Twitter, and Discord, they're in a lot of trouble now. It's going to be pretty hard for them to take this fight. Slaughter's going to have to get a multi-man blink crush, otherwise it's going to be pretty hard. Nice Ice Path to delay a bit. He probably used the Macro Pyre instead. Lifestealer just running forward. He's got the Aegis. Blink forward onto the Lich, but he'll instantly go down to the Omni Slash. The Lich will eventually go down, but hook shot forward onto the Lifestealer and the Juggernaut. But the Broodmother goes down, buys back now. Actually has buyback again. And Sven, he's in a lot of trouble now. Will manage to blink out. Blinks on top of the the Zeus, so the Zeus will go down. No, he manages to get out. There's nothing to stop the Zeus. Ice Path forward onto 3 heroes. will eventually take them out, but the Broodmother dies back. It's just the Jakiro and the Clockwork now, and Discord are gonna lose another lane of racks. There's not much that these two heroes can do by themselves. Zeus will buy back as well, understanding that this team, this is their opportunity to win the game.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
There's also a big creep wave coming in at bot, so should make this bot push a little bit easier. Zeus TP's in with Boots of Travel. I like this pickup a lot. Already Octarine Core as well. Not even going for the Nimbus actually, so something that we don't see too commonly. I feel like the Nimbus is really strong. So they're gonna go for this final lane of racks. Sven and Broodmother died back earlier, so it's gonna be this 3 versus 3 defense. Actually, the supports from the side. Blink Crush forward onto 2 heroes, but the BKB afterwards, the Rage and Blade Fury. The Slaughter will eventually go down. Clockwork as well, getting pretty low. Tries to earn himself, but not gonna make it out. Zeus is level 25 with that Arc Lightning damage. That's such a good talent. And looks like this game is pretty much over. I mean, I was proven wrong. Team Twitter, they won a pretty unfavorable game. I just feel like the side of Discord didn't execute their game plan at all, right? Clockwork missed a majority of his hooks early on. Slaughter, his Blink Dagger got delayed by 3 extra minutes because the courier died. And most importantly, this Broodmother just didn't work out. This Emmy Dies Alone doesn't seem that familiar with how to play Broodmother. The Zeus should not have been able to lane after like the 3-minute mark. But instead, Zeus is more net worth than anyone on the side of Discord. Actually pumped out a lot of damage, 68,000 damage. And the Broodmother is just not that effective. He also lost all of his webs. Like he had a bunch of webs in mid, but then decided to defend the T2 tower at bot and had to use a lot of webs for that. And now he has no webs to be aggressive. And that's a big part of the hero is the web management. And Emmy Dazzler showing that he's not that familiar with the hero. And pretty unfortunate because I feel like Discord definitely had the better draft here, but it's just a lot of things went wrong. I don't know.